Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing great. The first thing I want to say is my channel you're looking at right now should hopefully say Las Vegas Trading Company. If you're on my other channel, which has a different name on it, you should now go over to my new channel, and I'm going to put a link to that below because my old channel is pretty much going to be obsolete at this point, and I'm not going to be uploading any further videos. In fact, I'm just uploading this one primarily to let everyone know to move to my new channel. I noticed I got a subscriber on my old channel, and thank you for that, but I'm going to show you the proper channel, and I'm sorry for the confusion in having the two channels. So that's my first message, though once again there'll be a link to that below so we can get that straight. And then second of all, I'm going to show you some cool Dungeons & Dragons and some other games too to get into, because this is going to be a channel about a wide variety of role-playing games and war games. So, and then lastly, I guess I'll do it first though. Right now, I'll talk a little bit about the near future of my channel. What I plan on doing is showing you my entire inventory, my entire collection of wargaming and role-playing stuff by making short 2-minute videos on each product. And then at the same time, I'll take all the information of those products and I'll put it into a spreadsheet. That way, all of my stuff will be out there and people will be able to request videos because they'll know exactly what I have. So that's my next goal. And then lastly, I'm going to be focusing primarily on newer stuff, pretty much 5th edition stuff for the beginning, because I want to appeal to the wide audience, and I know most people are into 5th edition right now. I would rather talk about some older stuff, and I will certainly be doing that, but I want to go for the wide audience right now and get some traction on this channel. But in the meantime, they're really going to be short videos. So the way I see it, if I dedicate one night to it, I could put out a lot. Maybe all 5th edition in one night. You know, maybe there's like 25 books out for 5th edition, and I'll make 2-minute videos. So it really wouldn't be that long if I could get the technique down and start knocking out some videos. Anyways, let me show you what I got here, which is Dungeons & Dragons 1st edition miniatures. And this set is called Females, and they're all chicks. So if you didn't know, back then all the miniatures are made out of pewter, which is a really bendable, flexible metal. Let me get my camera here. All right. There we go. All right, so this looks like kind of a European girl with a dragon on her head. And you see back then, miniatures were a little bit more simple. Kind of like the artwork as well. You can see how easily it bends because you see the sword's a little bit bent right now. Really easy to bend. Oh, I'm going the wrong way here. It's really small too, as you see my fingers are covering it up. So this is what miniatures were back then. It left a lot to the imagination. I would imagine it'd be kind of hard to paint something like this. Not too much detail on the face, really. Whereas we have this girl who might be a Medusa, given her, looks like she has snakes for hair. Either way, for sure, she has some kind of canine pet. Pretty cool. See who else will show you. This chick's pretty cool. Classic spear and shield. Oh, dropped that one. Okay, well, at least you can see how it bends. I didn't want to show you guys on the camera, but either didn't want to bend any of my stuff, but you see right there. You see how it's bent? I'm going to bend it back really lightly, no effort at all, and I'll leave it there for now. Quick note on women fighting in general throughout history. There weren't too many women fighters, but when they did fight, they preferred the spear because the spear involves a lot of your dexterity and not so much of your strength. So it kind of narrowed the gap in strength. Unlike this woman who's fighting with a giant shield and a hammer. She must be pretty strong. And once again, sorry for kind of shakiness of this. My first time showing up miniatures. But you can see once again, not too much detail in the face. Also, I don't think my camera is doing it quite justice, and I think I need more lighting and stuff, so might have to revisit the miniatures another time and figure out how to get the camera working 100% on that. But in the meantime, there you have it. There are some old school miniatures. Official Dungeons and Dragon product with a really cool box too, I might add. The back of it's nothing. Anyways, moving on from the miniatures, I'll show you another very old classic. This is a really special book. Very special book. Oh. What we have here is the very first hardback role-playing game book ever printed. Ever. In Dungeons & Dragons history, which of course is the first role-playing game, so makes it in all history the first hardback book. And this is the Monster Manual from first edition. And one of the ways you could tell right here from the cover that this is an original first printing. Let me get some light on this thing. Number one, you have the lizard men down here. And that was the original logo for TSR, which stands for Tactical Strategy Review, I want to say. Anyways, that was a company that first made Dungeons & Dragons, and that was their first logo. Second of all, you have this right here. It says this trademark's been applied for. So it doesn't even have the trademark logo in front of Advanced D&D because they haven't quite got the trademark yet. After those two things, yeah, unfortunately, you see a lot of books will have the previous owner's name written on them. I think this one's kind of cool because it says grade 7, but I'm thinking about an idea where I'm going to make labels and I'm going to print my name on them and cover up some of these old marks on the books. Anyways, these red pages are also from only older editions of this book, but not just the first edition. But those two things on front, those you'll only find on the first edition. First printing, rather. Don't want to get this confused. This is the first printing of the first edition. So in later printings, they got rid of the red pages and they did a couple things. But this is a classic book, and it introduced a lot of the classic monsters from the D&D setting. Here's a list of all the ones in the book. And let's close this book out by actually looking at some monsters here. Oh, there you have a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And we come to our dragons. Interesting. Black dragon, blue dragon, brass dragon. And you can see how, if you watch my other video talking about dragons and showing you a couple of dragons, you can see how these dragons are not nearly as, what's the word? Their anatomy is not quite as realistic as 3rd edition dragons. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not as realistic. Because a lot of the artwork in this book is essentially amateur artwork. It was very, very early on in the process, and there were a lot of young people, a lot of beginners, but I still did a really unique job, but I really set the foundation for D&D art, and it evolved from here. And you can see here, there's, some pictures are just a face, other ones you see more of the body, so all the pictures are a little bit different in what you got. Almost every monster has a picture, but not quite everyone does. Anyways, let's see, I'll show you the full spread of this book, and then we'll move on to 2 other things I want to show you guys. Yeah, unfortunately this one has a little bit of damage right here. But once again, this is a very old book. And I'll show you when it was printed actually. We'll go look at that page again. But I'm lucky to have this copy. Even though it has writing in it, even though it's a little bit damaged, I'm lucky to have it. And it's not going to go anywhere. 1977. So, 33? Over 40 years old, that's for sure. 50. Over 50 years old. Next, we're going to show you 2 things that are not Dungeons and Dragons, and I think this is the second time they've made an appearance on my channel. And here we go. What we have here is Bloodbath at Orc's Drift. And this is for, I want to say 2nd edition Warhammer. Warhammer, if you don't know anything about it, that is fantasy battle rules. So that's more dependent on miniatures than Dungeons & Dragons. And you're not just playing one person, but you kind of have a God's eye view over your army, and you command it. And down the road, I'll actually show you some D&D miniatures. Unfortunately, I don't have most of them with me here where I'm living, but I do have a small selection. So, I will show you. I will show you that's coming up pretty soon here. But what this has right here with the first book, it describes a scenario for you to play. And these editions of Warhammer were a little bit more on the role-playing side than current Warhammer, whereas current Warhammer is more of a really competitive game, whereas this was more storytelling. And this book tells a story about a place that lived in peace for a while, but the orcs eventually organized and came down from the hills, and now you have to destroy their army and push them back to where they came from. So that's the game booklet. Has a really neat map. You can see a lot of the leaders there in the corners of the page. Other than that, it just has what are called command sheets, which have the different armies you could play that have a role in this battle. You can see there's dwarves, elves, more dwarves, engineers. So this is a different company of dwarves, more specialized. Wood elves, which are not to be confused with high elves or regular elves. It's a human militia. Here you have the orc army. And if anyone wants better footage of this so they can actually read it, let me know. It's kind of a struggle fighting with my cameras every day. More orcs. More orcs. So there you have 3 tribes of orcs. Make that 4. And then it looks like some, yeah, these are cutouts. With these, you cut them out, you can make terrain, make buildings. Anyways, there you have it. There's an old Warhammer product that you've probably never seen before, never heard of it. Not too many people are still active in the old Warhammer games, including myself. I collect this up. I've never really played an old game, but it would be fun to. So if anyone else has interest in old Warhammer stuff, also called Old Hammer by some people on the internet, let me know and maybe we could get a community together. Alright, last but not least, maybe it is least, I don't know. This right here is a Star Wars role-playing book from the Sega edition of Star Wars, which was an edition that was released after Revenge of the Sith, which was the 6th movie released, making it the Saga edition, going over all the movies. And if you don't include the Disney stuff, but let's not even talk about that. Anyways, this book is For the Unknown Regions, which is a really cool, unique book because it's going over a lot of stuff that was never even in a movie, and it was just talked about in the extended universe and different novels, but never quite in a movie. I know this guy. I think he was in a TV series I never watched, the one made for kids, the Clone Wars or Rebels or something. Anyways, I've never actually played a game of Star Wars role-playing games, but I would like to soon. And once again, if you would like to play Star Wars role-playing, let me know and we could get something together. That's a really easy one to do online, so that would be too easy. So while this book does go over really unexplored areas and new races, new creatures, new planets. The only unfortunate thing about this particular book and some other ones in the Star Wars series is I find some of the artwork doesn't quite apply to the theme of the book. And what I mean by that is, I'll show you an example. It's talking about the unknown regions, but it'll have pictures of Mustafar or other planets that are definitely not in the unknown regions. Well, I don't know. So far I've been flipping through it and haven't been able to find one. Definitely in here though. But maybe I was over exaggerating. Yeah, see this picture right here is from a planet in the unknown region, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, maybe I gotta take that back. It might have been a different book I was looking at. Anyways, really just wanted to show you guys that it's not just going to be about Dungeons & Dragons, and there's plenty of other books to look at. Some rare books too, like this one right here. I was lucky enough to get the whole Saga edition bought on eBay as a collection for a very fair price. But if you look this book up, right now it sells for like $200 is what they're asking for it. Anyway, so there you have it. Star Wars Saga Edition, The Unknown Regions. And I guess I'll talk a little bit about what the unknown regions are in the Star Wars universe. The unknown regions are the uncharted locations surrounding the galaxy and the universe of civilization. And I forget why exactly it's hard to navigate, but I think there's stuff going on that makes this area very hard and difficult to navigate, and never anything is quite the same as when it was before. So it's just a place where it's more lawless, and the government of the galaxy doesn't have nearly as strong as an effect, barely anything of an effect on this area. So it's a more dangerous place, but it would definitely be a fun place to explore in any role-playing campaign setting. So at that, I'm going to close out this video. So the bottom line is, if you're still on my old channel, this will be the last video I ever upload there. So please click on the link below and come over to my new channel. Other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.